All right, I'm going to make a video titled The Delusional Concept of Money. Watching all these stacking videos, silver, gold, and a lot of these financial forecasts and everything, and people just constantly bombarding you every day with a video telling you buy, sell. They use terms like hyperinflation in the U.S. and all this other stuff. A lot of that is wrong. Okay, and another thing, we're going to look historically at money and the problems with it and how it is somewhat of a concept, and you can get delusional with, the value of it and what it is. All right, so basically we have some older U.S. money here. Historically, money has been some sort of metal or something formed into a coin or bar or something used in trade. Now, the reason they use like copper, bronze, and brass in the old days is because you made weapons out of the stuff. And also, whatever they had extra, you had some. So, say you needed some, back in the old days, some bronze arrowhead arrows. Well, you'd give them so many little bronze or copper coins, to make a barter. So then the guy can go make some more. So what we have here is U.S. money, and it's kind of curious. I'm going to go with pennies first. These here are 1 cent pieces. I think they're 1819, 1851, 1853. And these are large cents. There were half cents, and the United States government started minting coins of some sort since I think 1874 or 1879 or something. Congress decided, a new country, to make its own coinage. So that was a penny. There were half cents, but that was a penny, and it's quite large. And if you notice, until the 1850s, you had a penny. Now these here are 1860s 2 cent pieces. These are 2 cents. So basically by the 1860s, one of these smaller coins would take 2 of these older coins to equal the value of this. Now 1860s that came out, and now until this here is 1899, we have 1 cent pieces, Indian head penny and a standard penny today. Okay? So, did the price of copper, I believe these are copper, go up? Or did the value of our money become more stable? Okay? So that's just an example there. And, the older money has more copper in it than current money. Same value. So, paper money. Now, if you have, pennies, quarters, halves, whatever, hard money, cold hard cash, these silver dollars, okay. So, you got $1, so you got 10 of these, 10 or 20 of these, you got $20 in silver. That's quite heavy. So you'd want to go and carry something else. So post-Civil War, there was an early paper currency, colonials, that were issued basically by the colonies or the governments of the colonies as like an IOU, or what may be referred to as a promissory note. In other words, a government institution or a bank would give you a paper document saying that if this document was brought back to the bank, they would give you either, dollars, silver dollars, whatever. And that's kind of what this is. This old design here, it says underneath the United States there written, will pay to bearer, okay, $2. Doesn't state what, $2 silver, $2 gold. At the time, they had dollar gold coins, or $2 worth of pennies, okay? So when the government tried after post-Civil War to start printing its money and backing it with treasury bonds, I believe, that's where we start to get Like this one here is a promissory note. This is what is called a silver certificate, because on this note it is written payable to the bearer on demand in silver. Okay? Now at the time we had silver dollars, silver coins, and gold coins were also in circulation, and the copper and all this other stuff. So we'll get this all out of the way. All right, so these are some more modern notes. I believe this is 1928, and silver certificates, the $1 bills, were issued until, they were still in circulation until 1964. So, like I said, as an example, we'll use this. We'll use the 1 ounce silver round as an idea. It's comparable to a silver dollar. I know it's not exactly a silver dollar, but just size and weight. You got a 1 ounce silver round, so you made silver dollars. Okay. This is a 5 ounce silver round. As you can see, it's impractical to make a $5 silver coin. Okay. It just isn't practical. So they had gold coins, okay, until they had the act where they made gold illegal after the Great Depression and that. So what you will be given is, and this here is a gold certificate. And this says if you go to a bank, okay, and hand this to the person, they will give you $10 in gold, not $10 in silver dollars. You can go and tell them, I want $10 in gold. Now, why they did this, they had two different types. The old silver certificates, like this one here, is from 1917 or something. So that's long before the Depression. Why they had them, I guess people did not trust paper money. They didn't trust it. They didn't believe in it, even though it was more convenient, to carry this in a wallet or a billfold or on your person. And plus you get larger denominations. You can get a 20, 100 or whatever, instead of, having to carry 21s, you can get a $20 bill. It says payable in silver on demand. Other than lugging around, 20 silver dollars or gold coins. So that's the way money was. And the value went up and down. There were lots of inflation, deflations in the 1880s, and that the economy was quite unstable. But that's the way we kind of did things. And that's when they said U.S. money was as good as gold, plus the gold standard. We backed our money by the gold supposedly in Fort Knox. That's why they made it illegal for everyone to own it. So I guess the whole point is there is a deep-seated psychological thing where people, even though they have, a certificate guaranteeing them payment in silver, it is like a psychological thing. They do feel better having a coin or the silver physically. Okay? This was a concept. This is how people had it in their minds. And they would either lock it in a strong box or bury their gold and silver coins in mason jars out in the yard or something. People had that mindset, okay? And, nowadays it's the same thing. People have the mindset that having your investments, your money in precious metals, be it in silver, gold, platinum, whatever, it gives them a sense of security and stability in a world where we have none, okay, especially in the financial markets, all right? And a lot of these people are out there saying, hey, buy more silver. The stuff drops $1, $1.50. Now it's low, buy. And then it goes up. Now silver's going to go to $50. Buy it now. Go. It's going to break out. Gold's going to go to $5,000. It kind of can't do that. Now, inflation, recessions, I was watching a guy explain how this is all working. And hyperinflation, somebody was using with the hyperinflation. We don't have hyperinflation in this country. I will give you an example of hyperinflation. All right, the first example of hyperinflation I'm going to use is after World War I, Germany lost the war, and the whole world demanded reparations from them for damages, this and that. And they owed money to every country that was on the other side, to the extent where when they tallied it up during the Treaty of Versailles, the demands of reparation were basically the whole net worth of the country and everything in it. Animals, people, industry, material, money, everything. So Germany was saddled with a debt and they wanted them to pay it back. Now, to give you a frame of reference, my grandfather told me that prior to World War II, a British pound, £1 sterling, was worth $5 and a German mark was worth $3. I believe this may have even been prior to World War I. All of these notes had the same date as 1923. And what happened was the countries demanded that Germany pay these war reparations back faster. So Germany just said, okay, we'll just print all this money and give it to you. So now you see, like I said, they're all dated 1,000 marks, which would be 3,000 US dollars. And this one is 20,000 marks. Okay, then stuff started to get out of control. So we went to where a mark was worth about $3, to where I believe this was at one time until recent years, this was the largest note ever printed. I bought this in a coin shop. 50 million marks is what this banknote is. This is a 50 million mark banknote. These are 1 million mark banknotes, all from 1923, when Germany had this bizarre economic collapse. Okay. That is hyperinflation. Do you see the United States printing $100,000 notes or, $1 million notes? Okay. This is hyperinflation. This is when you know your country has hyperinflation. And I have some more modern examples of this. All right, these are Yugoslavian banknotes issued prior to the war in the 90s. 5, 10, 50s, okay? And as you see, those were the standard issues. As the war progressed and hyperinflation set in, now you're looking 50,000. This one here, 10,000. And next to it, issued the same year, okay, 50 million. Same with this. As you see these denominations go up. There's Tesla. I think that's 10 billion. Okay, and it just keeps getting worse. You see these denominations of these bills are astronomical. Okay. Here's some neat ones here. All right. And these all have about the same date on them. I think 1993. So that, my friends, is hyperinflation. Okay? We don't have that here in the U.S. All right, these are Yugoslavian banknotes issued prior to the war in the 90s. 5, 10, 50s, okay? And as you see, those were the standard issues. As the war progressed and hyperinflation set in, now you're looking 50,000. This one here, 10,000. And next to it, issued the same year, okay, 50 million. Same with this. As you see these denominations go up. There's Tesla. I think that's 10 billion. Okay, and it just keeps getting worse. You see these denominations of these bills are astronomical. Okay. Here's some neat ones here. All right. And these all have about the same date on them. I think 1993. So that, my friends, is hyperinflation. Okay? We don't have that here in the U.S. Okay, so as you see, the U.S. dollar is always going to be the U.S. dollar. You're not going to see hyperinflation where you got 50 million $1 notes. That ain't going to happen because it still is everything is tied to the dollar globally. So that can't happen. Okay? So now everybody's thinking that if you put your money in metals, silver, gold, and all this, this will protect you from inflation or devaluation of said money. But here's the thing, with all the hype, and several people have come up to me and said, okay, say there's an economic disaster. Okay, what is an ounce of silver or like this quarter ounce of gold worth? Because the value that we place on this is still tied to the dollar. And the people who control the dollar and the people who control all of that also control the price or the value of the metals. So to think putting your money in metals, yes, it is a physical asset. Yes, it will always be there. Yes, it will always be worth something. But will silver go up to $50 an ounce? Will gold go up to $5,000 an ounce? That is hyperinflation. Okay? I don't see that happening. And after watching a video where this guy was explaining what's going on, and historically, what has happened is it starts with the stock market. These bubbles, okay, it happened I remember in the early 80s, they had a Black Monday or something, a stock market crash, which devastated people. Then it happened again in 2000. This is where, at the time, I had money, 401ks were new, they were making a ton of money, and I mean, you were investing, you were taking a bit out of your pay, putting it in there, and I mean, it did rack up. I mean, one year we made 16% on our investments. It was unreal. And the lies they told us that, if you keep putting 6% or 10% of your pay into this mutual funds and investments, by the time now, after, 40 years, I should have $1 million. And it kind of looked like that. Well, then they had a crash, and the guy put a number on it, and it is true. 72% loss in the stock market. Now, when you had that 72% loss in the stock market, in the early, around 2000, I went to look to put my money in something else. And that's when I started buying silver. I never fool with gold because gold is way too volatile. Okay, you're talking $200-$300 shifts in the price of gold. Where silver, yeah, $3-4 is about the same. It's volatile, but not as volatile as gold. I guess the larger numbers scare me. Okay, and at the time I started buying silver, silver was $3.75, $4 an ounce. Gold was under $5. I remember when gold was $300 an ounce, $350. I think that's, when I bought my first 1 ounce Eagle and I had it, it was less than $400. Okay. So when the stock market crashed, the value of the metals went with it. Okay? And I believe what's going to happen is you're going to see this year, and this year is probably the worst of all in terms of finances, you're going to see everything kind of shoot up. Silver started to go because these reports, everything is based on these different charts and graphs and financial reports, and that kind of makes it sway. When the powers to be are trying to crush the economy, destroy the middle class and just average people, and have this giant ruling class that controls everything, okay, going with digital currency and this and that, they don't want people to trade physical items for value. They want it all to be digital, and then they control what you can buy, what you can do, and what you get paid. All right, when this is all no good anymore. Okay. What I believe is going to happen is you're going to see this stuff go up. And already it's high. People are selling, and those probably are the people who are going to be the lucky ones. Because I guess what they're going to do is sometime around March or April, you're going to see there's going to be a huge financial crash. It's going to probably happen in the stock market. And this guy's talking now, he's saying 80% loss. Okay? And I have some investments that are in mutual funds in the stock market. I believe I'm going to take them out and either put them in CDs or something. Because at this point in my life, what little I have saved in a retirement fund, to have it take a 70-80% loss, okay, I'll lose everything. I'll either have to go back to work, and that's another thing. The job market sucks. There are no jobs out there. They keep saying all this. There are fewer and fewer jobs, just simple menial jobs to earn some sort of money. These things are evaporating. Okay, and then another thing, once that goes down, also this housing boom. Okay, they've been building houses around me and that, so you're going to get hit. Your stock market and your investments are going to fold up. Then they said it's going to drastically affect the damn value of houses. Okay, if you take a loss. Right now, my property is just about worth double what it was when I bought this house new over 20 years ago. And to lose, and he said, you'll see housing prices go back to 2012, which means the estimated value of my house will drop in half. Okay? So, what about gold and silver? The price on this stuff will plummet. That's where people are talking about $12 silver and, $12, $15, and gold down to about $1,500, if not less. Okay, and it has happened before historically. After these huge crashes, you think, hey, I put, at today's price, say $23 an ounce. Okay, I bought $10,000, $20,000 in silver, okay, at that price. Just, we're going to say spot, you're always paying a bit more. Say $25 an ounce, okay, at 22, 23, you're paying $25 an ounce. Just saying. So, $25. We have a crash. Now this is worth $12, okay, or $13. It's not going to protect you from the financial downfalls. It's all an illusion. It's like when that Chuck Woolery gets on there and said, well, when I ran this game show in 1971, this guy walked away with $13,000, and he goes, like, we got $13,000 in the safe, and at that time, if he bought $13,000 worth of gold, it would be worth $125,000. Well, back in 1971, at least kind of where I lived, you could buy a 3-bedroom ranch house that was probably brand new for about $13,000 to $15,000. And that same house today, much like what my parents paid for, and that, unfortunately, the area they lived in was economically depressed. But that house could easily be worth that $113,000, $125,000. So, yeah, he's probably correct about the estimate of the gold. But if you took that 13 grand, which would have bought you a halfway decent property, okay, that property today would be worth more than a gold. So that's why I say it's a concept. To say that you're going to protect yourself and that, and the powers to be know that people put this stuff away. They know it. They don't like it. They can't control it. They're looking for control. But again, it's like someone said to me, if say the economy does collapse, what's it worth? This is still tied to the dollar. It went from $25 to $12. Now what? Okay, just like your paper money. Okay, it's all tied into the same. And who's going to take it? Because truthfully, yeah, it has value. People will. I could probably ask around and get somebody to buy one of these 1 ounces from me for $30 pretty easily. If I tried selling them. But I ain't going to be able to move 5 ounces or 100-ounce bars. You got to find somebody that wants to stack silver. About the only other person you're going to sell these things to is somebody who wants to accumulate silver for themselves. Your dealers, once your dealer's flooded, if it does drop drastically like that, then any dealer selling bullion or coins is left holding a bag, and if he's got a huge inventory, his inventory drops by even 30 or 40%. You're talking, this ain't good. So in reality, what do? I don't think there's anything you can do. That's why I said you just try to educate yourself, keep on top of things. It's difficult to yank all your investments out of the stock market to try to miss a crash and then put it back in there after the crash would be the thing to do. But time in the market, nobody has a crystal ball. And, but is gold and silver going to save your ass? Maybe. Maybe not. All right. Well, that's my thoughts on it. I just put it out there. Leave your comments down below. All right. Thank you. Hit the like button, stay tuned, and subscribe.